audience and for all the people watching at home as well. I really want this to be a really fun tournament for us. We hope to do you proud, and you know, let's go Fnatic.
Firstly, I just want to give a huge shout out to our features team for just continuing to pump out amazing content, but also Poster is the best when it comes to all this stuff. He's so charismatic. It's hard not to like this team, Mimi.
It is really hard not to like them. I mean, both these teams have just such like fun-loving, enjoyable players. You want to root for both of them, but again, single elimination, this is going to be a brutal one.
Yeah, I imagine the features team also really likes working with Poster because you don't have to encourage any personality out of him. He's just exuding it. You have to tell him, like, okay, calm it down a little bit. You're going a little too ham.
I know, and that is why we love Boaster. That's why we love this Fnatic team, and we're so excited for this matchup. But we're going to take a quick break. Our first match is going to be coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be awesome. Sentinels and Fnatic to end. And found out that the results are in. Let's actually see if it's Durkin time.
It's going to be a Heck and Love 10.
Yep.
Okay, I'm just going to say, Valorant community, hello. It's Durkin time is like the best thing ever, all right? Why is it only 9%? Actually tilted.
Because most of the people watching this, they don't know what Power Rangers is, much like Mimi.
I didn't know what Power Rangers is, and I'm the one who said we should put that on the poll, so that was kind of random, but all good.
All right, well, guys, we have a minute left, so let's do some predictions, shall we? I'm going to go first.
Okay.
My reasoning, it's not because of America's bias. I just got a feeling. And also, I really wanted to draw their logo. I went with Sentinels for the win. Please do not flame me, EMEA. I love all of you dearly.
Flame him.
I might need a close-up for mine just because it's writing, but...
What does it say?
Just show it.
I have no biases here, but it's just straight up who I think is going to win. I'm bat-chesting out of my mind.
You're
Sentinel's gonna
bat-chesting?
take
All
it.
right. We need some good, honest balance on this desk because this is going to be a giga banger. Two super teams.
Yes.
I favor Fnatic.
What does
they
that
have
say?
the core. It says, dude, we need to bring back teaching cursive in school because this is abysmal.
What
but it
is
says I
this?
heckin' love 10s.
Okay.
But you have Fnatic. Okay, you make
I
no
still
sense to me.
heckin' love 10s even if I think Fnatic is going to win.
That's
Oh,
fine.
man. All right.
Still heckin' love 10s.
Guys, I hope you're ready, because this is going to be a great match. I hope everyone just takes a moment to breathe this one in, because you don't get it all the time. It's time to start this show and find out who survives another round. Korea or Brazil, Durka or Tens. It's going to be a heckin' great day of Valorant. And folks, lock in. Day 9 starts right now. everyone. You might need to check your pulse because you could be dead. This is what it's all about, baby. Sentinels versus Fnatic. A clash of titans here in the first round in our Omega bracket. And Mimi, I am absolutely excited.
It has been 635 days since we have seen these two teams face off. Now we've got new players, a new meta, new expectations, and they're back on stage again. And this time, only one of them can continue with their tournament live.
And it's such a shame to have to lose somebody here right off the rip between these two, but it just hopefully means that they're going to be fighting tooth and nail because they do not want to go home.
This is, you know what, to quote, and I make this reference oftentimes, but to quote one of the greatest commentators in professional wrestling, good old JR, Jim Ross, this is going to be a slobber knocker, okay? This genuinely could not be the most hyped matchup in this entire bracket. It feels as if we're witnessing like the main event, and this is just our first match of the day.
It is wild to see. We have the map vetoes already coming in. Fnatic will get rid of Pearl off the start. Sentinels showed some of that in the offseason. It tends to be a very strong map for a lot of North American teams. Makes sense. Same with Sentinels. Icebox has always been Fnatic's best.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, also that X-Set core quite good at Pearl, so they have a lot of strategies.
Yeah.
Tekken can go over to that Neon, looks incredible. But Fnatic, with the first selection, will go ahead and elect to take us back to Haven, something that we have been seeing fairly consistently. Maybe not in the last couple days of Omega, but over in the Alpha bracket especially. Saw a hell of a lot of Haven, and Sentinels are going for split.
This makes a lot of sense. You rewind the clock to X-Set back when this map was in the pool, and Def was one of the absolute best callers on this map. That core was fantastic on it. You're implementing new talent, and sure, it's a new roster, but I still think it'll be a good map for them.
SEN going to be taken away. Lotus still being floated right now. See if Sentinels ban it, and they don't. They're going to take away the fracture.
In the offseason, so it's clear that they didn't want to play it then, but they've been prepping something now to leave it to our third.
What are they cooking? What are they cooking? Oh boy, I am excited. So we have Haven, Split, and Lotus if necessary, but let's be honest, folks, I think we're going the distance.
One can only hope. The unfortunate thing about this event so far is that aside from a couple matches such as Energy versus Loud, some of the ones that look like they're going to be gigabangers on paper just haven't quite delivered, but surely there's just no way that this one doesn't.
Prime Gaming Agent select on our screens now. My question is, what is TenZ going to play? He's been switching up roles. He's been moving on to KO, flexing around, and letting Zekken be the primary duelist. Does that continue?
Whoa, what's Alpha going to play?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good question. I mean, he's always been an incredibly flexible individual. Probably the Sentinel. He's back on his kill drop. That makes sense. But what about TenZ? He gets the Jet on this one. It's a flip-flop from what we saw at the LTI.
Jet v Jet, Durka versus TenZ. I mean, you couldn't really ask to start the series off in a better fashion.
2021, Iceland, Haven ended the series. And it was Sentinels who took that one home in a TenZ versus Durka matchup. We get it again here, Jet v Jet.
And we're starting it off right here on Haven. Well, folks, we got a clout match, which means that we got to call in some pretty clout casters. Actually, I would say clout chasers. Here's Brennan Sideshow.
Yeah, let's get to it. This match right here is going to be something special because it's North America versus EMEA, Sentinels versus Fnatic, an age-old matchup, a classic matchup, Josh, because like the desk was saying, the last time these two teams faced off was so long ago, May 30th, 2021, at the Reykjavik Grand Finals.
Yeah, and both of these teams have taken very different paths to get here, and yet, in 2023, both Fnatic and Sentinels have tried to form super teams heading into the partnership system. And I think for Boaster particularly, but also for Def on the other side, it's a hunt for a trophy, and one team must go home. What do they have cooked up for us to start things out on Haven?
And Haven, bit of a playground for the IGLs. Maybe that's part of the reason why Fnatic ended up opting into this one, but not messing around already. That Trailblazer just going deep into the site, and TenZ was following that one, but he was shut down in the middle of all of this. This looks like a fast play now. Just trying to make their way through into Garage. Going to be potentially bogged down by all this utility, but there was a flash in play just to push them back and away. Fnatic already claiming 2 kills. It's up to Sentinels now to scramble, try and salvage what they can out of the round. A bit of damage done to Chronicle, but right now just biding their time, waiting it out.
It's on Def to try and make something happen here. No pressure anywhere else, and Dirk has walked down mid. He knows that the spike is dropped. He knows they're all contained inside Garage. This should be Fnatic easily cleaning up.
Yep, they know exactly what's going on here. Sheriff in the hands of Durka. Already getting some lovely damage down onto them and right through the wall. It's 3 kills in the round for Durka. What a way to set things up, and nobody dropping on the side of Fnatic. That's a Prime Gaming flawless.
We're going to be keeping track of Durka V10s throughout this entire map, but I want to shoot 10s a bit of bail here. This is a pretty normal pathing, actually, on a pistol round strat. We've seen a lot of teams do it. He looks a bit silly, sure, but I don't think there's anything wrong with his decision-making or the game plan. It is, though, a pistol round strat where 10s is very alone. He just has to dive in and hope that there aren't a couple of people at back B for a C pinch. So definitely a planned pistol round strategy for Sentinels, but the reaction was from Fnatic. And they strike the first blow. No force buy, nothing crazy happening here. And Sassy loading up his ultimate. I do think it's really interesting though, Bren, that Sassy is playing the Sky here. When you think about Sentinels, you're expecting Sassy to be the safe pair of hands. The guy that's a veteran, king of initiators, safest player in the game.
Just able to really pick up the pieces when things go wrong, but
yeah, and having him on Sky instead of on Breach, it's a really aggressive comp from Sentinels, and I think it's going to ask Sassy to get really involved in the fighting.
Yeah.
And that's unusual to me. I would expect Sassy and Zekken's roles to be swapped.
It is an interesting one, isn't it? Breach oftentimes going to be that third player into the fight most of the time.
By the way, I mean, Durka is just farming up so many of these kills that he's
already got his ult.
Yeah, he's up to his ultimate already, so
yeah.
The economy could not be in a better spot for Fnatic. They've also got a bunch of rifles heading into this round anyway, so again, I think they're going to let Sentinels set the pace. Sometimes on a bonus round, you'll see the defending team do something really aggressive, and Fnatic were known for pushing down into a lobby pretty heavy on the defense, but Sentinels' comp should be setting the tempo.
It's rifles across the board for Fnatic, so manage their economy well enough that they're going to be even in terms of those weapons against Sentinels.
Durka's feeling it.
Yeah, he is. I mean, the Dash active right now, looking to try and take an early fight. He sees the head. What is that? Rolling back the years with that one, Dev. Straight through the wall. I mean, just a little juggle and a shot. That's all it took. Trailblazer now going to be trying to
What a great nanoswarm.
Yeah, it breaks it, right?
It does. It breaks any kind of utility that is channeled. So if you've got a Sova, it breaks the drone. If it's, you know, Sassy there, Trailblazer. And that allows Alpha to keep his turret up. They don't spam it through the wall. So map control advantage to Fnatic, but they're still 4v5. And they've got a good read that this is ending A.
With a stack in the play that they've got currently, making sure that every option's watched for. Look at that crossfire. I mean, they've just got so many layers to this.
But also, Leo pretty heavily committed in short.
Yeah. Quite wide. It's going to be a fault line. Now to stun as well, so Leo can't see too much. Does have that dart, but does he want to use it? Aftershock into the corner, a bit of spam. Just finds his targets!
Wow.
Beaming them down, and it's pure instinct play. 3 kills from Leo, who's just anchoring that position. But it is down to Alfie in this 1v2. Spike gets planted, finds the kill. Smoke dissipating at just the wrong time for Zekken. And now he's backing away. Ten's holding close to the angle on Graffiti, and he just found it anyway. Right to the side there, ever so slide off angle to get that one. So Sentinels are on the board, but they did end up losing 4 of their players in that round.
Yeah, it's damaging to the economy for sure. But I think with Durka being dominant in the first couple of rounds, Tens instantly fires back. The heroics from Leo are incredible here, and he's definitely a player to keep an eye on. But what we didn't spot was that the actual site hit itself coming from long. Tens was able to get all of that utility and push forwards.
Yeah.
I thought the economy would be looking good here for Fnatic, but they're choosing not to commit off the back of Durka's knives. They must have bought up a little too much. Not something that I had realized looking at round 3. I thought they were going for a bonus.
Yeah, it looked that way, didn't it? Had enough spare cash maybe to make the purchase, but like we said earlier, Durka built up to these Blade Storms. Wasn't able to get too much done there. In fact, I think the dash that he activated, it does fade away. Not going to have that available to him. But slow and steady is the game plan for both of these sides.
And Durka's making a bit of a read here that the play's going over towards C. And you can see that both teams are kind of mirrored in terms of their rotations. Durka's got a nice idea about it. Maybe Def's going to try and create a bit of pressure in B, but this is ending with a C split, and they're going straight into the shorty. Durka with a bit of revenge.
What a kill to find. Javier, oh my goodness. Just walked away from the door for about a moment. Could have found an easy kill with a shorty, but he will fall. Now a A lot of flashes just being committed into the back of the site. Clears that one down. It's going to be a plant as well without too many problems. Util chipping him forwards, but TenZ is quite isolated now. He's holding the back of the side by himself, and that fight at the flank was imperative. Durka wins it out. A little bit strained in its approach. TenZ with the updraft play. Aftershock as well. Leo just trying to trade it out, swinging through, and TenZ still claims 3. Down to Durka now. Another dash that's come online here, right into the smoke to cut up the crosshair placement. That gives him a good idea of where these players are, but again, just a battle taking place, tries to spray it down, and that Jet head-to-head just manifesting itself in the round.
The desk hyped it up as TenZ versus Durka, and that is how these compositions work. All of the utility is going to be used to set TenZ and Durka up on the best fights possible, and you're just seeing them clash. They're not necessarily taking the duels against each other early in the round. They're massacring everybody else before they finally meet in the 1v1. That's another quite expensive round for Sentinels, but it's on the board at 2 apiece. Light armor for everybody on Fnatic, and an operator in Durka's hand. He explores down mid as TenZ takes an early face into A long. But this looks awkward for Durka.
Deep push, a slight angle.
And he's burning his dash at the beginning of every one of these rounds.
Yeah. Recalled star there. Going to be pushing him away from that angle now while all this was going on as well. It was a bit of a slow burn on Alpha Sentinels as they are just trying to make sure that they get a bit of space in A short. This Trailblazer up close. Leo.
This is so advanced from Leo.
Yeah, he's there. He doesn't really have anybody watching his back, but Fnatic are committing a lot of players here to the site. You can see this, and the Rolling Thunder's going to be catching them, actually. Leo going to be caught. Flash play, and, well, the Knight's just not good in that kind of position, but Boaster was isolated. Now a drone. Fault line as well cuts across, and Durka's still there, holding the angle at Heaven. He knows what his players are, and he will find them time and time again, one after the other, but Sentinels will answer back. And it's just down to Sassy. Positioning, I believe, known. He's going to get reinforcements as Alfie is going to be rejoining him at Heaven. Spike out in the open now. Will he get an easy fight? Just trying to isolate one of them, but no. Jiggle to positioning. Leo doesn't give away too much now. 28 seconds left in this round. Time starting to get burnt, and now he knows where the second player is. That's one broken, just trying to isolate one of these fights, and, well, the warbang angle. Alfie here just about grabbing that kill.
Such a back and forth round. I think Boaster's kill onto TenZ really seals the deal for it.
Yeah.
He's not favored in that situation. Breach ulted up, and, you know, TenZ also not taking the most favorable duel in the world. It was really messy between the two of them. There's a missed fault line too for Durka to be able to grab the kill onto second. And I think Def should have swung before Durka got a second. Maybe slightly miscoordinated from Sentinels, allowing openings for the Fnatic players. But this is really back and forth. But this is where you now see, Bren, the economic damage that was done earlier, because Sentinels only lose 1 round and they're dropped down to an eco.
So left to stew and think about what they really want to be doing in this round here. Looks like they are just trying to slowly push towards the B side. Trailblazer gets a decent amount of information. Dash forwards by TenZ there. That's just trying to even get this plant down as an aftershock. So TenZ, yeah, is going to be paying for that one with his life. A bit of, again, spam from the Phantoms at play. Tap onto the spike. Post-plant positions being played here by Sentinels. Going to take a miracle for them to just get much else with it. Yeah, a bit of jumping and running and gunning from Leo. But already the spike just being stuck through all of this pressure. They didn't have the weapons or the util to be able to push them back. But ultimately the goal of Sentinels there was to just try and get a couple of kills, maybe as well, that plant, so they can start building up the bankroll once more.
What they have done, though, is fed the Fnatic ult economy. So Chronicle's got his ult online, Leo now with the Hunter's Fury too. And that means that this round coming up, round 7, is going to be massive. I think a lot of ults are going to get used, and if Sentinels lose it, they're back down onto it. Alpha, by the way, has picked up the operator now, over on C.
And a deep dash from Durka. He's not wasting any time, is he? He has a deep dart as well, a set play, but Zekken up close and personal within the cloudburst. Takes out the threat of Durka. But a pincer attack as well. Boaster was trying to make the most of the chaos. Pushed up into, oh my goodness, into A lobby, and he's even finding a couple of kills of his own, potentially. No, ends up going down before he could claim the second. The trade was there.
The timing's so messy there from Fnatic. I understand that it's a set play, but Sentinels had a lot of windows with which to reinforce their position. Alpha, yeah, missing that shot.
Very wide swing. Dog will miss though, so not stunned up. He can afford to just retake this angle and just on the arm of death. What a shot to hit. Giving him just nigh a pistol, but now you're going to see already pushing through this one with the rolling thunder. The ultimate to try and clear it away, and the players had to vacate. Sentinels trapped in the cubby, and Alfie has got that line of sight angle. Watch for once more, but the spike handed over to Pancada. He's got his ultimate, so he's going to be able to get a free plant now onto A.
1v3. Can he do it? He's got a lot of time to threaten a reposition. He's going to smoke both Spawn and A-Link.
It's really smart. He's just
the
throwing
Fnatic.
a bunch of misinformation into it, but this fight now by Leo, him meeting him into short.
It's
moving
massive.
The first kill.
It's massive. Takes it down to a 1v2, but he's given away where he is. What is that?
Chronicle so far ahead of his teammate. There's no trade in sight from Alfie. Now the paranoia. Waiting for the tap of the spike. And there it is. Rips his way across a full blind. Another tap from Alfie, but still biding, waiting. Smoke ready and waiting. Wide swings it at Alfie. So calm and patient in the clutch.
Really big round from Althea. After he missed that opening op shot, I thought it was game over for Fnatic. But he comes through and recovers. Perhaps you could argue that round should never have been that close. With Pancada, an opportunity to hit the 1v3. This one, beautiful.
Just being able to isolate this fight as well. Look at that. Doesn't open himself up too wide with that second fight that he was taking. But ultimately, Alfie, really intelligent player.
And this has brutalized the Sentinels' economy. They're going to be kicking themselves for that. Because like I said, that one decided which way the momentum was heading in the series so far. And Sentinels now are just down to stingers.
Yeah, disrespecting that utility that was going through into a lobby. Oh, he knows. Durka knows. 10's locked into this position. Even the utility, the shock darts, you can see it now. And after shock, though, Durka has to respect that one. The dash to just disengage, make sure he doesn't take too much damage.
Stingers can still be deadly if Durka gets caught out here by a flash.
Damage. The flash actually doesn't connect onto Durka. Still there, ready and waiting into the corner. Updraft play, and wow, 10's makes the most of it. A bit of whiffage there from Durka, holding in a very aggressive angle.
And now that they're in a 5v4 post plan, Def might choose to use his ultimate.
Okay, there you go. Lockdown, place down, lockdown for a lockdown. How are you getting these kills? With the guns at hand, all up to Sassy. Stinger in his hands, tries to whip out the pistol, but already being swarmed by the players now. The lockdown, destroyed. Not a problem.
Yeah, no issues whatsoever. And a ton of time on the clock anyway, even if they had all been detained. Fnatic committing really decisively, though. If you want to talk about Fnatic's, you know, and more so boasters hunt for a trophy, it feels like they get to a certain point in a tournament, they play against a big team, and there's a bit of freezing up that happens. At least that's my perception of how Fnatic
But this is a roster that is stacked with that either veteran presence talent or talent that are very independent and willing to make those quick reactive calls.
And it must be mentioned too that both Fnatic and Sentinels have not been together for very long. These teams, of course Fnatic, the core was still there of those three players, and Sentinels blending a couple of different cores together, but in terms of practice time with these two rosters, they've only been in the server together for about 2 months. So things should still be a bit rough and ready. But so far we're seeing some really nice ideas. And a lot of high caliber players.
The Nano Swarm that was placed early there, that's to try and push back a potential play from the opposing Jet like Durka here. He's pushed himself up onto this angle and brought down to 57 health, but still wants to take the angle.
And look at how much freedom that gives the rest of Fnatic. 4 players over towards B, Garage, and C. because Durka just knows that this is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, he's actually on such a tight angle that Pancada could slip past him.
Yeah,
I don't think Durka quite realizes that somebody's to his left.
But he will watch it when they start to cross into this. Now, Trailblazer, here's the dog. This can give him a good idea of it. Okay, chooses to vacate. Doesn't want to hold that angle, a bit too risky for him, but...
And I like this from Sentinels, contacting into A. Their composition has a lot of utility, but by contacting, Fnatic feel confident enough that they aren't rotating anybody over to A just yet. Boaster's hanging around for a little bit, now only just starting to make his way over. They might not be ready for this A explosion.
Risky maneuver that could be played there. The stun is going to force Durka to not be able to scope in now. He can't really help them out, but already Boaster's trying to at least relieve some of that pressure, but the spam into hell catches onto Durka, the common angle that he was playing. 2 players of Fnatic falling, including Chronicle, make that 3. Leo opens himself up so wide there. Unfortunate timing with the smoke just fading away. What an answer by Sentinels off the back of that timeout today. We're talking about what they wanted to do differently. Perhaps that was part of it, what they were discussing, the contact play to make sure that Fnatic didn't have as much information to work with, that they couldn't rotate effectively.
Yeah, I think at this point, that's got to be credited as a really nice IGLing call by Def. I think the idea of just using that single piece of utility to push Durka away and recognizing that reinforcements don't come that quickly, it's something that I've always loved about Def's calling, is that he mixes in those contact attacking rounds with big explosive executes. And remember that on XSET, he was mostly doing the calling and the micromanaging on the attack side. He kind of split duties with Aaron. And there were some tournaments where the attack side calling from XSET looked phenomenal. And there was some where it was a little shaky. But when Def's on point, when he has a read on a game, it puts so much pressure on the other team. There's a bit of frustration there showing from Boaster, despite the fact that they're 6-3 up. But they're still only 1 round away from getting ecoed themselves. This whole time, the economy has been on a knife's edge.
Oh, it's been back and forth, hasn't it? Neither side really being able to build up any sort of money in the bank. Now Boaster this time taking an aggressive approach, just pushing deep into A lobby. There's a smoke at the back of it and that dart, so he does have peace of mind that nobody was pushed back. Spam now, and it's the same play by Sentinels. They're just looking to see if they can apply some of that pressure into Garage, break the doors, break the util. Should be able to hear that turret close as well. And their goal is going to be to break that.
All of that A-lobby utility and Boaster spamming is trying to fake that Fnatic have multiple players pushed up towards A-lobby. This dog is going to notice that either there was nobody there or they've all dropped back. And look at how Fnatic react now. Instantly off the Trailblazer, there's 3 players at A. Do Sentinels commit? Or do they turn it into a fake this time around?
They're worried about that contact play. So this drone, oh, it's just mistimed, isn't it?
This drone is useful for Fnatic, but it gives Sentinels a great timing. They can just walk through after this.
And they're going to be taking it. They know off that big piece of util and the dart being committed. Yet still Fnatic are holding with players close. There's a Seekers now. Fault line through, that's just going to be used in response to try and slow them down. Even the flashes, Tens can't quite see a thing. Even beefed his flash for his own dash coming through, trying to spray it down. Boaster does help them out a bit. A running gun in action. Okay. 3 kills for him. And just backs away, rotating around. No time on the clock. Tens. Percentage play now knows that there's not a chance in hell of him winning this round, so just has to save the rifle.
He's going to get a backstab on Boaster here, but Boaster's already done the damage. Yeah. Amazing defensive calling, and also, he's playing so much more aggressively in this game than I've seen from Boaster.
And the difference maker there, honestly, was Boaster fighting really hard for it, but Chronicle actually helping him out with a util. Sure. That was the difference maker when Durka was holding that just by himself previously. Chronicle's util there was fantastic. The fault line, the flash, of course, tends to beef the dash. We might see it in the replay as well earlier, but all of that was just used excellently, and Boaster is playing so much more aggressively. You are right.
Yeah, he's got confidence. I don't know if he's been working on his, aim labs routine or what in the offseason, but he's taking map control, challenging these players. He's not scared of the heavyweight big hitters on Sentinels. He's just taking it to them.
That's what you need. It's a kind of attitude, mindset that you really do need. The knives, oh my words.
It's the same kind of pathing from the pistol round, but it doesn't work again.
Yep. Just too many stray blades just landing all over the place there. Gets a couple of the players low, but wow, that shot just being found.
and this is disastrous. Sentinels need a miracle here, because going down 8 rounds, giving 8 rounds to Fnatic,
Brutal. Really, really brutal for them. They do need a miracle. Who's going to be the playmaker? Target's broken. Cosmic Divider cut across now. Moving forward, Sassy has to hold this. He knows he's being pushed. There's the first opener. Still Zekken, his positioning is known. A pop flash play moving forwards, and Zekken isolates the fights, but eventually shut down. Really, really well calculated there by Fnatic, making sure that they didn't overstep themselves, didn't give too much away.
very solid retake, and at this point, an extremely good half from Fnatic. 8-3 with a potential to go 9-3. Either way this final round goes, Fnatic have put on a really good performance here. Their retakes have been excellent, and apart from a couple of good moments from Sentinels, they've been able to work the defensive rotates into a position to shut down the pushes. We haven't seen TenZ unlocked as much as perhaps Sentinels would have hoped for.
Let's fly. Careful.
Now we're heading into that final round of the first half here. Operator fight taking place. Durka wants to try and take it. Waits it out as well. Smart from him. Doesn't immediately go for the turret. Just waits for it as it's being activated, just in case a player slips up and makes a mistake and peeks before it's ready. TenZ even going for a shot of his own as well, almost reacting to that jump peek.
But now they know TenZ is opping on attack, and that means that they should expect Sentinels to be playing a little slowly.
Yeah.
So Fnatic don't have to be as aggressive in terms of reclearing the map and looking for information, because they know that if they just kind of hold tight, Sentinels are going to be working a pick for probably the next 20, maybe even 30 seconds.
They know it's going to be a slower paced round, and look at this reposition by Alpha yet. Deep push to the bottom of C. An area to map, honestly, that hasn't been explored too much by Sentinels. When they've been going for these C hits, oftentimes it's through Garage, so this could be a really valuable backstab position if they decide to go for the C hit, which right now just a contact play, breaking that alarm bot, but the positioning is going to be known now with 40 seconds remaining. Durka looks down the one angle, still going to be holding it down. Rolling Thunder to push him back, wants to take the shot before it goes through, but there we go. The extra layers that I was talking about earlier. Alpha locked and loaded. And it is disaster for Sentinels. 2 players left standing, with Depp falling all down to Zekken. A nasty shot to be found, but Alfie once more with that consistency.
I think so many people were coming into this match wondering which team would have the better super team. Is it Americas or is it EMEA? And Fnatic have landed an emphatic first blow.
Outstanding first half from them. Clearly see why Fnatic opted into going into Haven as well. Very ready for it. He had so many different looks and changes to their defensive setups, honestly. Really falling across the board. And now, let's send it down to the desk to break down the first half so far.
Thank you so much, Brennan Sideshow. What a half for Fnatic. They look absolutely filthy. I might need to take a bath.
Yeah, I mean, they looked incredible in that half. The defensive-sided calling from Boaster was great. But what impressed me most was their ability, even when their initial plan failed, to come back and still be able to win out rounds. And I wanted to take a look at round 7, because this was a really cool idea that I think they pulled out with this gambit. They switched the off over to Alpha and had Durka dashing into mid off of a stun, a dart coming through lobby, and that Sophus Hunter's Fury. Wow. It's quite a good idea, but he got punished by Zekken. It looked like Sentinels was going to be able to win this round, but Fnatic in the mid round had a good adaptation. And a lot of that was Boaster's aggression. The casters talked about it. He gets up, he gets his, and he sets his team up for this really strong retake back into the C side. Sure, Penkata got things closer to clutch, but overall, Fnatic had control of that half, and Boaster's calls were solid.
Yeah, I mean, nasty with it there for Penkata. So close to being able to clutch that out, and had he been able to, that would have stopped a bit more of that momentum there from the side of Fnatic, who were able to string together 4 consecutive rounds right there in the middle of that half. But now it's on Sentinels to try to bounce back, and one of the ways they're going to be able to do that is with TenZ. So let's go ahead and we'll take a closer look at some highlights from him and Durka, because from the outset, Durka really kicked things off. He upped the pace immediately, and then TenZ, it took a little while, was able to eventually catch up.
Yeah, that he did. And now as we look towards this second half, I think it's going to continue to be defined by this Jett head-to-head, how both of these players are being used by their teams with their decision-making on that attacking side. TenZ has looked good thus far, but what Fnatic has had is better coordination as a team. We're seeing the individual moments, but it still feels like the coordination could use a little bit more work. I'm looking towards Def with this defensive calling.
Yeah, it seems like Coach Mini and Boaster's prep work has definitely paid off here on Haven. And look, I mean, this is what you expect expect on the pick of I believe this is a Fnatic's pick. So if you really want to do the, you know, the kind of like the microscope into the matchup, this is going all according to plan for Fnatic. How does Sentinels try and bring this back, send it back over to the casters?
And I love the highlighting there of that jet head-to-head between Durka and TenZ, two individuals that really are just carrying the weight of their team now as they're heading deeper and deeper into this Haven match. And TenZ is a player that is quite interesting as well. He's had such high peaks early on in his career. 2021, just, you know, when people were talking about superstar players, all the comparisons were being made against him. But this year, 2023, Josh, seems to be a chance of redemption for him to be able to prove that he can go toe-to-toe with the top heavy hitter teams once more.
I completely agree. On this pistol round, he's got a Sheriff in his hand and a desire to find a first engagement. Playing it short, same kind of place that we saw Durka looking towards time and again, but Fnatic are moving in the opposite direction. Looks like they're going to try and focus on taking out this turret and going for some kind of C-split.
Yeah. This is going to put a lot of pressure on Def in terms of his anchoring.
And Def's having a bit of a rough one so far. He's hit a couple of nice shots, but sat at the bottom of the scoreboard, 4-11. And just moves off the C site as the drone comes in.
That's spots too. Even gets a stun off as well. So what is going to be the reaction here from Sentinels? Turret going through, it's a fast play. They just want to fight this one into Garage. There was a flash over the top, and they do want to swing with the player advantage. Just trying to, again, beam them down with that frenzy clip. Not working out still. There's that 3v3, and the players are low on either side.
Yeah, it now gets a bit awkward for Fnatic because they don't control Garage, and they also don't control C long.
And still with the dash enabled. Here with the back of the side, a little jiggle, maybe opens himself up here, but this close position by Boaster could be everything for them. Tapping away, still just holding a little bit too close. Flash dodged away, and TenZ claims the second at the back of the site. It's all for Leo to do, and unfortunately just cannot withstand the onslaught that was coming his way.
That is what you want to see. Sentinels with a lovely retake, and also TenZ finding his opportunities. Des was talking about how good the coordination was there, but I think that post-plant setup was really awkward by Fnatic. They're holding a flash off contact, but TenZ has already killed the contacting player before the flash is anywhere near coming through. Look how late that flash was. TenZ with all the opportunities to take two 1v1s. And I think you're right, Brent. This year is set up for TenZ's redemption arc because at the beginning of the game, he's just absolutely on top. I think he still holds the record for the highest ACS of any kind of MVP candidates at big events. His performance at Reykjavik was unbelievable. Yeah. But there's been so many questions about, has this guy still got it? You know, does he just want to be a streamer? You know, all of the same stuff that people say whenever people get too popular. But he said, when Sentinels were forming this team, he said to the head coach, listen, I still want to compete. I still want to be the best. Yeah.
Still wants to try and make his mark on the global stage, that competitive environment. This is a weaker buy for Fnatic. Pancada, okay, taking the fight right to them. Fully blinded up though, and Durka does get handed a pretty easy kill, but ultimately left in a 1v3. Gonna need to channel something unholy to be able to win this.
I've seen Durka win 1v3s on Haven A before. But I think this one does look a little too difficult. It's also one that Sentinels have got to win.
Yeah, I will say 50 seconds left in the round. He's cutting noise just by walking, but Second is watching this angle with a little jiggle peek. He doesn't offer any more as well. Look at that, just gets the information and backs away, playing quite patiently.
He knows that this is going to pull the defenders towards A. But he's a bit slow to rotate off fully and try and get a free plant on C. TenZ is thinking about it though. Has to spread out again just in case Durka's made a mad dash to the opposite side of the map. But I don't think this one's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, with 20 seconds left.
I think actually Durka's at risk of not even dying.
Yeah, you don't want to save this this weaponry into this round right now. Have to be going for the plant or something. Nano Swarm preemptively popped off, and yeah.
Def ready for it.
Will fall.
So have Sentinels got something cooked up? So we were talking about the difference between these compositions, and Sentinels comp has the ability to play really aggressive. 2 flashes and a paranoia to work with. You know, a lot of stuff to go forwards, and Empower tends to take really aggressive fights.
Yeah.
Maybe we see that here. TenZ has a Marshal, so not the best synergy in the world to work with, but I think a big push towards A lobby might net them some value.
Yeah, Looks like they want to really fight over this one. That's 4 players from Sentinels grouping over to that particular area. Util exchange on either side. The dart being smoked off, so goal of this one, pushing Pancada up close. Now, probably off the contact of Tens with the Marshal, that's where the paranoia is going to be let ripped. The Fnatic have read this quite effectively, I think. Now, not willing to really just offer any easy kills towards Sentinels. Instead, they're going to be contacting to a completely different area of the map.
Yeah, they've found the opening. They have found the gap in the defense, and Def is going to be asked to do a lot. Def and Pancada also full bought in this round, so
Oh yeah.
they'd be in a challenging spot if Def goes down.
Can't be losing this rifle early. Here's the dash through. Tries to go for a bit of a spam kill here, Leo. He's being isolated, surrounded right now, but yep, holds the angle, and Sassy just wades right into him. Alfia's back there. That flash was not good from second. A bit of a self-flash there, but...
And now things are getting horrible for Sentinels. They kind of need to just save 2 weapons into this round.
They really do, and lose the rifle.
They got destroyed before they were anywhere near setting up for the retake. And Fnatic just got the easiest round of their lives, and Sentinels have 2 players that can't buy this round.
When you're 10-5 being the scoreline, such a difference in these rounds. You need every weapon, every advantage you can carry forwards. So what they're going to be opting into. It looks like the replays are going on. I can see the money that's going on. It does seem like they're opting into just forcing up into this round, but it means the weapons are not good. Pancada's working with a Sheriff while all this is going on in this setup.
Yeah, this is last chance desperation mode for Sentinels. They need somebody to go huge, and Tens is not here.
All that YouTuber just being dumped through. There you go. Fault line. It's not on the one side. Sentinels opting to just completely get out of there. So they want to play for this retake now, but the weapons, like I said earlier, are just not good for it. I mean, Tens has got an operator.
And Sassy's also got no flashes. One is going to come back online at some point in the round, but they're really relying on Zeken's utility, and I would give Tens the rifle. Yeah, they have done that, actually.
Swap to the round, so Sassy holding the operator now. We'll see what Tens opts to do. Paranoia rips his way across, including the stun as well. Finding a one fight, no! All just being met pound for pound, match for match. The crossfire just far too potent from Fnatic. And Chronicle claiming 4 in the round. Real difference maker for this squad.
And Boaster with memories of that final map of Reykjavik on Haven, where Sentinels lifted the trophy in his head. With memories of that going through his head, he has delivered such a good performance right here as on the beginning of his revenge tour.
Yeah, starts here.
This is absolute dominance from Fnatic. Sentinels look like they are completely out of the game. We saw some flashes of brilliance in the first half, but other than that, the coordination, the utility usage, the game plan ideas, just all in favor of Fnatic on Haven. This was a great map pick to start things off.
Making it 11-5. Fault line to push back the players there. Now, look at this. It's a risk to be taken. Rolling Thunder, though, being set up. This is Chronicle, and he's going to clear this through all of A. Players trying to hold close. This is going to catch on to them, right? He's far enough back. No one from Fnatic might be able to swing off this, though, in short. They're playing pretty far back there, so...
Not ready yet.
What are they waiting for right now? Maybe a bit of util to come back? Yeah, it's Leo with the dart. Waiting for that recon to come back online.
But I do think these short players need to be a little further forwards. Now they start moving their way forwards. They're into good space. And here we go.
With a stun, that's it. Everything just sent flying. Updraft right round the corner. Even the aftershock. Sublime placement of the utility. So well executed. And that double stack. The risky play by Sentinels here on their weaker buy does not pay off. Fnatic looking so damn ready to take that 12th round, set themselves up on map point.
It looks sublime, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's so good.
And Fnatic are going to take that step closer to taking map 1. And it would have to be an almost impossible miracle run for Sentinels to mount any kind of comeback. Fnatic looks so in control. The game plans are gorgeous. Brent, a lot of the times, super teams do not live up to the hype. It's obviously way too early to call it for any of the teams in VCT with the year just starting. But I like what I'm seeing so far from Fnatic. they haven't just strung together a bunch of good players on their team. They've got a nice game plan and good ideas of the roles that, and how the synergies are going to operate.
Yeah. Very nice from them. Just a replay of that round as well. But this is do or die for Sentinels. This particular map.
The recon dart is also so good that Leo throws, because if it gets broken, they breach ult. If it doesn't get broken, it clears out short and they know that they don't need to breach ult that position and they can save it. You know, there's serious thought process been put into this. And this is one of the things that Fnatic always does, is start out tournaments with amazing ideas.
Yeah, including this one. Shock Dart over the top. Land right at the front side of B, so that's going to be just clearing out all that utility. It was popped off early though, Durka. Updraft dash play. He is stunned up though for the moment. Even the darts are clear through the back of the site, but this is Sentinels that now need to answer with something else. They're close to a couple of ultimates with this plant. It's going off and there's no problems whatsoever. It's now setting themselves up into the post plant. What an opening. With Zekken falling, you don't have that breach utility. And how do you win this? Cosmic Divide to cut the one side up. Tens. Never opener for him. Seekers, though, going to be spreading out into the side. Trailblazer even missing. This wall so difficult
no
to try and burst through. There is no flash to break through this. And time is ticking. Finally it regens, but already the fight being taken. Sassy trading out, winning it Pancada with the flank. Reflanking through. It's all down to Leo. In that 1v2, one fight isolated, having a defuse. Sassy sticks it. The percentage play, there's no way you're sticking this all the way. Unbelievable. The absolute cojones on him to make a play like that.
And for the first time in the series, we see the value of adding Sassy and Pancada to this roster. That duo just played so well towards the end, and I'm speechless at what Sassy just did.
I mean, when you are literally on map point, why not throw caution to the wind?
Seemed like an unwinnable position for Sassy, and yet he gives Sentinels one more lifeline. Still not looking good. For all the heroics, it is still not looking good.
Gonna take it one step at a time, one round at a time if you are Sentinels, because, like you said, Josh, there's still Fnatic in that driving seat. Knives now going to be ripped out for 10. Still, that's going to be a lockdown. Instantly, the Hunter's Fury is used. Leo was ready for this one. No hesitation. Players falling left, right, and center, and they just cannot capitalize. Sassy, the last man standing. He's handed an easy one. The barrel of the gun just opening out a little bit too wide. Drone tagging. It's going to push him back. Just hoping for the re-swing there with that pre-fire, but Fnatic are looking more than ready now to take this one. Surrounding him, the reposition. Look at this from Durka. To the back of Garage, it's just unwinnable. Layers of utility, no one giving him an easy fight. Beams him down, but left to 5 health. And the doubled up positions, look at it. Waiting it out with the patience. Intelligent play from Fnatic. And they take map 1 in this series, 13-6.
Good start in the series for Fnatic on their map pick. Looking completely in control from about the middle of the first half. We called it an IGL's playground, and I think not just Boaster's calling, but also the game plan, the preparation was so evident and looking super strong. Sentinels are going to be hard-pressed to fight back on Split here. This Fnatic team is not messing around. They're worthy of the title so far of Super Team.
What an interesting series we potentially have as well. The fact that Sentinel's next map pick is Split. It's a map that has haunted them throughout the entirety of this org's existence, but that is going to be interesting. We're going to be finding out just on the other side of this break just how the rest of this series is going to be playing out.
like the X set like before and play really good and loud also. They were maybe a little bit scary, you know?
Ah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. Well, let's go ahead, though. And if you are a Fnatic fan, and I know Tom is watching at home right now from the Fnatic headquarters currently, so hi, Tom. I got to say, this is the pushes, the way that they were forcing him out of positions. I could go on and on and on until I lose my breath. This team was unreal.
Yeah, very, very brutal game from the side of Fnatic. Their mid-round calling, their setups absolutely played to perfection. Sentinels unable to string more than 2 rounds together. They get 3 in each half. And while they did get those rounds, they did look quite strong, but every other time, it just seemed like things were really falling apart at the seams.
And comparatively, it really felt like Sentinels was struggling on that attack side to find the right call, Redgar.
Yeah, like I think like on attack side they should destroy like Utils of Killjoy so they can like with the opponents on the map and they can do like the fakes, do whatever they want to, and it feels comfortable to play when you destroy everything from Killjoy, by the way.
Yeah, and I mean, without destroying that utility, it felt like they were oftentimes executing into these stacked A sites, and for Fnatic, they did a really good job of setting up their site anchors to consistently find value there, which meant they went into the half with an incredible lead that would have been very, very hard to lose out on, but especially so because their executes on that attack were absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, that was a type of game where you look and you're like, there's just no way that Fnatic are going to drop this one. They just looked so clean, and Sentinels are obviously going to be left picking up the pieces. But, you know, let's actually take a gander over at a Verizon high-speed moment of the match, and we're going to give some love to Chronicle here. And, oh, I did a little Jimmy there. We're going to give some love to Chronicle because, honestly, you guys, you know, again, the 2 new players coming in for this team, Mimi, have popped off.
Yeah, I mean, the supportive utility from both Chronicle and Leo seems incredibly well coordinated. You kind of contrast I think the amount of synergy that we saw from both of these teams, and it felt like Fnatic has done a better job of slotting these 2 guys in. And, I mean, Redgar, you thought it was interesting as well, because you used to play with Chronicle, but he's on a new role in this new team.
Yeah, I know that the Chronicle at the start of when we played like before, he played on supports really, really well, but, you know, he's like kind of this guy that need to learn a lot of things, and after he's doing incredible his job.
Yeah, it feels like once he gets comfortable, it's going to be a problem for their opponent, and that is the scary thing. And I don't know about you guys, but Chronicle looks pretty comfortable right now.
I agree.
But you know what, though? Moving on to our Aim Lab shoot-around, and we're going to be checking in with the IGL of Sentinels. It's going to be Def here, who, you know, really, Achilleos had a hard time with the right calls in this game because it just felt like the game plan here from Boaster, from Mini, from the entire crew on Fnatic was so clean. How do you even call against that?
Yeah, it's really difficult, and obviously coming into this, it just feels like Fnatic have done so much more homework for Haven specifically comparatively. And because the reads that they were able to get, the way that they were clearing their way into those A sites, knowing whether or not they were going to have to throw the Rolling Thunder and whatnot, having that Aftershock to clear out sewers as well, it was just beautifully played. So it's a really tough challenge here for the side of Def. But Mimi, you were talking about this before and how good he is at calling split. That is what we need to see. We need to harken back to that era.
Yeah, his attack side calling on split has historically always been really good. Zekken as well, I think, as an individual, has always felt enabled on this map. So it feels like one that should probably be a solid map for Sentinels, but they are, of course, bouncing back from that really tough start. And I mean, Redgar, you're an IGL. What is it like losing out on that first map, kind of being out-called and having to bounce back into the second?
I think personally when you're losing like the first map, you know, like you're giving out all like the pressure, you already lost, like what you can lose still, right? So you just need to focus on the another map, like what you can do in the other map, like how to focus on the things, like what you should say to the guys to fire it up, like find out the key points, like the best rounds, and go into the game.
I like that. You're like, hey, you know what? I'm down at the bottom, so the only place to go at this point is up, right, Mimi? Yeah,
we're gonna be hopping into the agent select in a second. We saw TenZ play Jett on that first map, but I'm wondering if they're gonna play instead of him on that Jett, maybe play Zekken on that Raze. They could try a double duelist comp like is hovered here. There's different options for the squad. All right, Prime Gaming Agent Select is underway, and you know what, Redgar, you were talking about, you were curious what Fnatic were going to be busting out here, but so far it looks like we're going to get some explosive gameplay.
Oh yeah, I see like that Chronicle right now is playing on Raze. It's like a kind of different role. Like, how can support with the tools, like throwing the nades and the opponents and kill everyone?
That would be good. That would be very good for him.
Yeah, Fnatic as well. We've seen this double duelist comp come out from a couple teams. It's looked very good thus far. I think squads have struggled to shut it down on their defensive side. Also for the side of Sentinels, another new role for TenZ. Sage, he has not played this before. Yeah, I tell you what, right now, if you're a Sentinels fan, you're definitely clenching the butt cheeks because this is definitely going to be a bit of a banger here as we get ready for Split. Are we going to get a map 3? I want to see this one go all the way. So let's send it back over to Brennan Sideshow.
Thank you very much, GB. Yeah, I think that's the hopes, isn't it, that we end up landing on that, you know, that proper, really drawn-out series. Map 3 would be fantastic, but we are going to an interesting map 2. Split is what it's going to be. The Des were kind of alluding to it as well, but listen, across the board, Exit as a team, you know, you see that core of Def, very comfortable in this map in the past, but the rest of Sentinels, not necessarily so.
Yeah, it used to be Loud's permaban, so it's not somewhere that Sassy and Pancada have historically been strong or showcased much of anything, and Tens has had his struggles here. His demons have arisen, playing the Jet, playing the Rays on this map in elimination maps. But I think the most important thing is that Zekken should be empowered. He's my player to watch on this attack side, because his Breach, very underwhelming, super rough performance, but his Rays should just be so much more fluid and allow him to get aggressive and get into positions where he can rely on his fragging.
Much more confident pick for him.
And the whole comp is a very Exet comp coming out from Sentinels.
Yeah.
It is a Def, an A-Rin kind of composition here. It's loaded with a ton of utility. It can take map control. It's really good on the defense side too. Big clash here though in ropes.
Yep, already going to be trying to take this one, and guess what? Coverage was there. Durka takes the first shot. Chronicle had his back, even with the disengage at play. So it's left Sentinels with a player disadvantage in this 3v4 now, looking to regroup with the rest, or at least with the space that Pancada's gained ever so slightly.
Yeah, the Viper setup creates a little bit of threat, a bit of pressure over towards A Heaven.
They're reading it.
But there's already 3 players here.
Yeah.
And part of that is because Alpha's cam sees into B Heaven, and he's not worried at all.
30 seconds left.
And so Durka lines it up right down the angle. A single shot will do it to the chest. Sassy not stand a chance. All up to Pancada with no time left to even play in this round. What can you even do in a situation? You have to try and plan A. Not likely. Not when Durka's hitting shot like this. I mean, that is just disgusting.
Durka has been a land demon at almost every event he's been to.
Yeah.
I think he played slightly better online in the run-up to Champs than what we actually saw from him. But the team still did fairly well, making it to around the 6th spot. It's not like he was bad, but my God, when this guy is on form, when Durka's playing his best, he's up there with, you know, the top 3 players in the world. At times, he looks like he could be the best player in the world. Maybe this Fnatic team is going to empower him to be just that.
What a beginning for Fnatic. It's a critical pistol round for Sentinels to just get a bit more confidence in the series, seeing if they could try and fight back after losing that first map. But now this Judge in play, this is always dangerous. Much more passive wall, but still going to get broken nevertheless. But it gives good information that players are close. Def just trying to go for the jump peek. With the right click in play. Now a nade as well pushes off that angle. Leo taking quite a bit of damage. Just trying to get out of there. Even a self-heal being used, so he'll be topped back up, I believe, to 100 health.
And a Paranoia being thrown in there too, just so that Chronicle can grab a little bit more information and presence, controlling B Heaven. I think the split is entirely about map control. It's about holding on to key areas, and Boaster's got B main, Chronicle's got B Heaven currently, and there's still a lot of info that Althea is providing on the A side. So Sentinels are a little stuck. Obviously just pistols in this round too, but in these kind of rounds, Def is probably just going to be feeling out what the defense looks like. Yeah. How do they respond to different things? Where is the Cypher setup?
Nade is going to be supplementing this entire push, and they all fall down, with the exception of Tens, who's just late lurking through B main.
And those 3 kills from Chronicle to put us up to a prime game in Flawless. He's now 2 away from his ultimate.
Very important.
Yeah, massive. Chronicle as well. Both of the Breach players now on map 2 playing Rays for us. And while I think it's imperative to get Zekken onto a role like that, where he can have a bit more impact in the round, where he's showcased more comfort. For Chronicle, this guy, we've seen him up at the top playing all sorts of different stuff. And his fragging has never been in question.
Yeah, I mean, he's been such a flexible player. Remember him trying out to play, I believe it was Sova on Split as well, at times.
Oh, yeah.
Not afraid to flex over to a variety of roles. But this is the investment round now from Sentinels. They've got guns online in their hands. Got to make usage of them now.
And look how much faith they have, actually, in Durka to just hold on to A Heaven, sorry. So now Alpha Air comes to reinforce. They're going to play a bit of a retake setup if Sentinels burst into the site.
Yeah.
And Alpha Air Durka going to be fighting both incredibly good fraggers.
This Heaven position, watched for. Flash goes all the way up top there. That is an instant trade, so Durka only going to be claiming the one. Double satchel across. Alfia could be the difference maker. High ground position. Crosshair placement was not good, but he uses the cage to get back out of there. Site's going to be gained. Wall has to be used, though, and Heaven wasn't really watched for there. Ten's had the spike in his hands the entire time. They will get this plant down without too much problem. Still, Fnatic, they've maintained and held on to control of Heaven this entire time, and looking to re-clear now through ramp down into main. And Boaster holding this paranoia. This is a big play, ready and waiting. It's going to be ripping its way through. There's going to be attempts there. They're trying to hide through the smoke. Showstopper letting it rip over the wall, though. Oh. No one watching for it, and a spray down. Reset of the aim. Def being the playmaker.
What a big triple kill from Def. But also fortunate that he was on the right side of that wall.
Yep.
He was hugging the very edge of the smoke. He knew that he wanted to go through it, and the timing just ended up being impeccable. I think a very big difference there too in terms of how Fnatic were approaching the retake. On Haven, we saw them strike immediately as soon as the plant went down, not giving Sentinels a moment to set up into a post plant. Whereas this time they took a bit just to set up and make sure that they're all approaching, but it let Sentinels get a bit more comfortable.
Definitely some more hesitancy there.
Walking down mid
so
with the op.
aggressive.
Durka was doing this on Haven too.
And they're doubled up. Primed and ready for the collateral, but denied at the final moment. The high-low setup, the reaction time's just not paying off there for Durka.
The reflexes from Zekken, though, to be able to get that one, so important.
They seemed almost ready for that one, Sentinels. The way they played it, like they anticipated a push down mid. Another fight being taken, though. Chronicle, oh boy, Satchel's missing. Leo just tries to bail him out, but he does pay with it. With his life in the process, now backing away.
That wall, it has a little gap for Chronicle to hide in. And he's able to get up on top of it too.
Yeah.
So I thought Chronicle was just left out to dry, and instead, Leo's given him a little safety spot. This is a weird round. Okay, so Pancada's created some pressure over on A, and that's pulled the rotate. Boaster, for maybe the first time in this series, has a bad read on where this is going.
That's all left up to Chronicle to try and deny. Wall still in the hands of Tens. He's going to be using it, slow into the back. Now the wall's up. Chronicle doesn't look to try and push them back. In fact, just pushing down into mid. A contact play from him. Plan's going to go down without too many. It's quite nice. Means it's not going to be anybody following up on the boom bot. Now the nade across, though. Aim of the game going to be trying to delay. Boaster with the paranoia, goes too wide, actually a little bit too high. Pancada's still alive in this one, and there's a crossfire setup, the re-swing! An adjustment of the aim, finds the target, finds the mark. Alfia swinging across, position is known, now onto Heaven, but Sassy reveals it still. Will lay claim to the kill with Alfia falling. That's going to be that second round on the board for Sentinels, and so far, an even map.
And it's opened the door for Sentinels now too, because Fnatic heavily invested. The operator on Durka got shut down immediately. Everybody else full bought. Sassy coming up with the goods in the post plant. Really nice stuff. That duo again, the defending champion duo of Sassy and Pancada. So solid, really difficult to get through when they're set up and in position. Sentinels now should have an opportunity to start building up a few rounds. Major pressure though with Durka. Pops the Blade Storm and they go for something really aggressive, driving everybody into Alpha, who has a Bucky on B.
So I like this idea from Fnatic, based on their weaker buy. Obviously the need to try and force positions, but Sentinels are not wasting too much time with this one. They actually pop the Seekers off into mid. Uses it. Okay, Ten's on top of the wall, finds two. Straight away opens it up. There's going to be no danger of any cheeky kills from Alpha anymore. Still Chronicle running onto Heaven, is smoked off for the time being though, does have that bulldog in his hands, but Sassy also watching the fast play out. Boaster, he's actually managed to find some space out onto the side with this, and he tries to take the fight anyway with the Frenzy, just not too favored. And it's another day in the firing range for Pancada, cleans it up, nicely.
And gets his ultimate online. Really important that Pancada was hunting those kills towards the end, because a Viper's Pit could easily win this next round if they can get onto site. Tens, that's the second time that when he walls out into B, he's been on top of it. And obviously he gets a great punish there. But I'm wondering if Fnatic are going to start reading into this a little bit and just be holding for him being on top of the wall every time. I think the most important thing, though, in this round is, can Sentinels get into a post plant for Pancada to win with his pit?
It's been quite slow by Sentinels. You're seeing really glimpses of that exit attack side calling from Def in the past when he's played on this map.
Definitely agree. Look at where the cam is as well from Alpha though. Pancada's kind of... Pancada and Sassy have faked a bit of pressure up towards A Heaven, but Alpha knows that it's not real. And that's going to allow Durka to rotate off, and they can just leave the whole of the A site to Alpha
They're still holding it for the time being. Mid, just being contained. Deep flash there into ropes. A familiar play to what Sentinels were trying to do on Haven quite a bit. They throw a bit of util out and just contact up, but this wall is going to be causing problems now.
That gives Sentinels a ton of space, though.
How do they want to play around this? Just waiting. Ten's holding solo! You gotta be joking! The spacing there just not quite good enough, and Fnatic, they crumble.
This is a save round at this point. The only thing Fnatic are hoping for is that maybe Pancada gets panicked and uses his ult for no reason. This round is over. And all down to Tens.
Being the playmaker. This guy,
on a new role.
About him, man. Yeah, new role. 2023 really is the year of redemption for this guy. You know, he's playing on a map where, we spoke about it, historically, his performances were never good. This map always haunted him in the past, but...
Yeah, he's had occasional performances where he goes nutty on Jet, but his team still looks scrappy. His raise was never that great, and there were a lot of, you know, narratives about him being poor in elimination matches and stuff as well. Yeah. Frankly, the guy just has a microscope on him because of the size of the audience that he commands.
I mean, the guy set the standards for star level performances in 2021.
But I like what he's doing there, and I also think that that was a bit ill-advised from Fnatic to be challenging this super heavily. It's not a great one-way. We've seen teams run it before. I think Yampi on Astra was somebody that I could remember doing it, but you see
from that guy, I mean, firstly, let's just adjust. I mean, I don't know, we got to talk about that first shot from Durka. Show me a replay or something, because that was, I mean, I was speechless. I'm speechless.
That really is superb. And he knows where Zekken is going, so there's a bit of anticipation in that as well. It's not just pure tracking. He knows that he's trying to land on that high ground, but it's still such a gorgeous shot. And Durka and Alpha, just receive it. In one of the previous rounds, they did go A, but Alpha was trying to get back into the site through elbow, and they didn't quite know what was going on. I'm not sure Sentinels are going to go for heavy hits, but I do think they could still follow this dog and try and control A. The camera, again, in a really nice spot from Alpha.
Opting into that mid-control, though, from Fnatic, with the operator in the hands of Durka. This time they fight it. Still Pancada. They get that deep position. Does he know the cam's there? Oh, the left-hand approach! Wow, okay. What? I mean, just should never have been favored in that fight yet. Comes out relatively unscathed. I mean, dropped to 27 health, but the kill claimed, and that's the important part.
And since the timeout, all of these first fights have been going the way of Fnatic. Good information here, too. Leo's walled off B main, so they're not too worried about that. They can put a lot of focus towards B heaven. I'm not exactly sure, though, why Chronicle is leaving right now. Okay, now he returns. Yeah. Just in time, I think.
Play being set up, though. Fnatic, massive advantage with this one, and a contact play. Zekken just tries to take the angle. Paranoia and a nade to push them back. Wall not even close to fading here.
30 seconds left.
Interesting angle that Tens is looking for. A clean shot into this one. Jump peek by Chronicle. Got a lot of information now. Time running so damn low. Only 18 seconds left in the round. What a flick from Sassy. Does he anticipate the second player up top, though? Drop down. That's Boaster close. And fight still being won out. It's down to 10s. Spike has to be picked up. And the pressure is on. Isolates one more fight.
Whoa.
What is that?
He's
time
just got
to spare.
time.
Yeah, he does indeed. Tucker solo, though. Rotating around. The heal's going to be used. Back up. Healthy. Still in that 1v1. Isolating the angle, and Tucker is just waiting it out. Locking down the angle on top of the box with that operator. Has the dash. Waiting to see what he can do. Slowly. Down the ropes, not making any noise. And it's just going to be a game of reactions. Who spots who first? Barrel sticks out, and Tens delivers. The final blow for the Red Bull clutch.
What a performance. Tens has been masterful on this map so far.